Okay, Charles LeBlanc here. You see behind me the trail. Straight trails, and we're at, where you can see the superstore behind me. Okay? Then with this video, we're going to try to make it fast. We're trying to get to the point of what's going on. Be patient. We're going to see. And then to have patience, this guy here is going to make sure that I'm on track, and I'm going to make sure you're on track. What's your name again?
Mark Darcy.
Mark Darcy. And we are going to debate the issue of
the Crosstown Trail.
And what's the problem?
We have a couple remaining blocks that need to be filled in. The city is coming tomorrow night to council to actually pave one of those blocks, but without completing some of the other blocks. So you can't make it more attractive, one part of the trail, when there's uninterrupted gaps, because it's not safe. So you've got to close the gaps in a very safe way.
And just for the record, this used to be
the rail corridor,
okay,
leading up to the train station.
Okay, so this used to be the train.
Yeah.
The train used to, locomotive just going right through the old days.
Yeah.
Those days are gone. They're not coming back.
And now the Valley Trail here is part of the Trans-Canada Trail.
Yes, and that's connected to Woodstock Road right at the end.
Yeah.
Okay, now, here we go. We're going to try to just go. There's the wind. The wind, it might be a little distraction, but that's okay.
So the sign is there for the Crosstown Trail.
Yeah.
And 6 of the blocks, of the 8 blocks, is now completed between here and University Avenue.
And then, you said they just update this. Now, this is a good point here. That is the bridge.
Yeah, Lincoln
the walking
Trail.
bridge, and how straight it is. Boom, boom, to the university.
And they put it through the rail corridor that goes through the center of the neighborhood block, so it doesn't go on the sidewalks or in conflict with driveways.
No, and this here, they just added this. This is confusing. Well, there's a name we're going to call the new trail, but we'll get to that later. Okay, so what they did, what's his name, the developer, Colpitts?
Well, this is back in 1998, part of the...
1998.
Yeah, part of the approval for this townhouse development by the city and by council was to continue the public access through the corridor.
My God.
And there's a 6-meter NB Power right-of-way there, and that's where the trail route was to go.
So the trail was supposed, this guy Colpitts had those houses built in condition that the walking trail would go right through there.
Yeah.
Right?
And so the city, the staff, the council, Colpitts all promised and approved the plans for the...
Right there. Okay, so that didn't happen. At the end, he built those things.
Right, and Loblaws, at a public meeting, they promised that when they had their exit open up onto Smythe Street, it would not open up into the residential street. It would be a T intersection. Okay. And as you see, that's not.
Where's the T intersection?
Well, a T intersection should be right at the trail.
Okay.
So you have both the traffic and the pedestrians and the bicycle users all using a dedicated full traffic light intersection.
And then, so you can't go through there. How you doing?
Good.
So you can't go. So right now there's no trail. When you come out that one, you have to come here.
Right. So now it's forcing the pedestrians and the cyclists to use the same path. This is part of a sidewalk, an existing sidewalk system.
It's not a trail.
And the city is now telling us that one of the options on the table is to run the Crosstown Trail down this block.
Down this block, but they'll talk about that when we come back.
But I asked, what's going to happen to the boulevard trees?
Yeah.
On this side, and one of the options is to remove the boulevard trees, but I was told that's unlikely. This sidewalk here would be eliminated, and they would run a joint pedestrian cycling corridor. But the problem is, we already have a right-of-way that runs through the center of this block, and that should be used. At the very least, there should be a T intersection at Smythe Street, full traffic lights for the trail users to get onto this side. And so now we're coursing towards Rabbittown Park, which is between Westmoreland Street and Northumberland Street. And that park was picked up by the city in 1998. And otherwise it would have been developed for townhouses. So back then, this is 20 years ago, of course, the commitment was being made by the city to put the crosstown trail links in place, one block at a time. But now on Monday night, council is going to have first and second reading to actually pave this portion of the trail.
One second here. This is the trail when it came right here, right?
This is the right-of-way, so you can see the right-of-way.
Yeah. So when it came right, and the city still owns that.
Well, it's an NB Power easement.
NB Power using it. And but the bottom line here, when Northumberland Villa, Colpitts, he reneged on a promise to build the trail. Right? Or to allow the trail in there. And then he said no. Is that what happened?
Yeah. But when the city purchased this land here,
now we're going.
then it all changed. And the city said that they would be working with all the property owners to complete the trail connections.
Now,
so this is a beautiful trail, and it's because of community engagement that we preserved this as Rabbittown Park for the continuation
what they call it,
of
Rabbittown Park?
of the trail.
What do they call it that for?
I mean, this was all forested area.
There must have been a lot of rabbits.
And
Puck Rabbit Town. My God, that's bilingual. Puck Rabbit. It's supposed to be Puck Lapin. Okay.
so as you see, just like the 6 blocks of Lincoln Trail going through Queen Square, this is running through the center of the residential block. You don't have conflicts with sidewalks. You don't have conflicts with driveways. And this is the preferred route, and the city has gone to extraordinary expense and effort to use the rail corridor in the city for our world-class trail system. This is why it's so good. It's direct, it's dedicated, it's separate, and it's uninterrupted. And so we want the same for the crosstown trail.
And it used to be like the old days before it was like this. Now it's all paved, which they claim just snow at night during the wintertime. It's a good idea, in my opinion.
So the city, part of the plans right now is this summer even to start paving this section right here.
You agree with that?
Well, I said that you can't treat this in isolation, and you certainly can't make this section more attractive when you haven't completed the other sections. So what I suspect is happening is the city is getting ready to continue a trail from here over towards York Street.
The Lebanese church in there.
And so here you can see the city actually built the curb.
How old is this?
Segments. At least 10 years. And so everything's in place to continue through. And these are, there's 4 little segments of rail corridor, and they're the normal width of all the rail corridors throughout the city. And the city said that they were going to be picking up each portion as the land becomes available. And these apartment buildings on either side were not here at the time of our secondary plan back in 2000. So all of this was in place to be acquired by the city and then used for public purposes, in this case, the Crosstown Trail continuation. And the reason this is so important, you'll see when we go around the corner here.
You know what? 10 minutes already. But that's okay. At least people wants to go for a ride, want to see for themselves. They can see it.
So this is a, you know, beautiful, safe, open route here.
Now, who this belong to? This here.
This right here?
Yeah.
Well, most of these sections now have been acquired by the city.
Okay, so
Yeah.
how come they don't build the trail here? Hello.
You'll have to ask the city.
Have to ask the city. But these people don't want to be disturbed, no?
Yeah, but they put fences up in Queen Square for the trail segment that goes by
Yep.
townhouses.
No excuse because
So look
they were here.
how beautiful.
Yeah.
So part of the plan, and it's a comprehensive plan, and you can't isolate little pieces. You know, it's a very integrated type of planning. So the Crosstown Trail was to use the abandoned rail corridor specifically to line up with the historic train station. And this will become a major destination node for our city's trail system. I mean, people love train stations. And, you know, why wouldn't you incorporate it? And so we have signs here.
And York Street, very busy.
Yeah.
This is Sunday, by the way.
And like on Wallace Street on the north side, what they do now are little islands. See the Crosstown Trail?
Yes. What about it?
So that all along, this was the intended route.
Oh, yeah.
For the Crosstown
Okay,
Trail.
so, but there's nothing there. And there's a sign. How long that's been there?
Years and years and years.
Okay, here we are.
So you put an island in the middle, and that's how you allow the bicyclists and pedestrians to go safely across. Wallace Street is an example of a mid-block crossing over a street.
So this here, look, for sale. Okay, so this would carry on and go right through here. Now,
We'll walk down here.
how about this?
Irving owns all of this property.
Irving owns all this property.
Yeah.
He bought the old train station for how much? $1 or whatever.
I don't know what the sale price was from Canada Land.
And then this is the liquor store.
Liquor store.
And they did a good job.
Beautiful. I mean, this is. I mean, the community was so grateful to finally have the owner refurbish the train station.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is a wonderful historic destination point for our city's trail. And part of when the liquor store was developed, we have the Section 39 development agreement. We have the subdivision plan, all signed by city staff, approved by council, and even signed by J.D. Irving. You know, the subdivision plan clearly showing this was land picked up by the city through an 8% land dedication for what? For the Crosstown Trail.
Okay.
Because it lines up perfectly
Yep.
with the continuation of the Crosstown Trail. And in behind here, now we're walking, part of the 2000 plan that was incorporated into the municipal plan is to have a park square.
Yes.
In behind Sobeys, like between here and Sobeys, which integrates the Crosstown Trail. Then you do a dog leg down Carleton Street,
Yeah.
and you have a linear open space leading to Carleton Street.
Yeah, that was a plan.
That was a plan, and the reason that all that park space is there is because these right back here are going to be residential, high residential components. And our mayor, Mike O'Brien,
Idiot mayor.
talks about the importance of residential development, and he's going after the exhibition grounds right
Yeah.
now. We already have plans comprehensive plans in the municipal plan for residential development.
So Irving can sell the land or build the high rise, or?
They have to build residential, but we're wondering now, we're seeing the unraveling of all these plans.
Who does this belong to right now?
City.
The city owns this?
City owns this.
Okay.
As the trail.
And they never paved it? They never...
No.
And so this, Carlton Street, we're going to go down there. It's down there.
Yeah.
And they were supposed to build Carlton Street.
So right here would be a large center park square.
So this would have been, this was in the plan 20 years ago.
Yeah.
They were supposed to build a nice trail, and this would have been a part,
Yeah.
and then you would have continued till...
Right beside the train station.
What happened?
Well, without any
Corruption?
public notification, any consultation, we noticed that a trail section is built beside the Aberdeen Street
we'll see
building
that.
over here. And they have and they actually installed half of a crosswalk pole.
Yeah, we'll see that. But then the bottom line is, this is all contaminated soil too. I mean, the train station was here, the diesel oil and everything.
Yeah, it's a lot of heavy metals
Oh yeah.
as well.
But you would agree that they would have residential high-rise here. You would agree with that.
Yeah, there's at least a Sobeys
Oh.
has a residential component right there,
Sobeys.
which they haven't developed.
How come?
I don't know. I mean, these are important to densify our downtown.
Yeah, we're right downtown. Look at
And the plan back in 2000 was super important because it actually downzoned, protected our neighborhood blocks over in the West Platte. And
This is obvious.
because they gave developers the right to have residential development here in the railway lands between York and Regent. So if we start losing these components, once you start unraveling the plan in the railway lands, you forget about the crosstown trail beside the train station. You forget about the park square. You forget about the residential components
But
here.
the city has already forgot about it because they just built a trail, right?
Without telling any of us that that's their plan for the crosstown trail now.
Let's see it right
Instead
here.
of going past the York Street train station, they want users to...
Look at this. So, where is this going?
It
Aberdeen Street.
spills into Carlton Street, but also they're going to have to connect up over there because that's where the crosstown trail leads towards
Yes.
University Avenue.
Yeah, so,
And that's already been completed, and you'll notice at McLeod and Regent
yeah,
is a full set of traffic lights
yeah.
where the crosstown trail crosses.
That little trail, the little walking trail here, Sobeys owns all that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the city built this.
And this is fine. I mean, it's great to have shared use paths, but this is not the crosstown trail, and no one told us it was going to be the crosstown trail.
Is that what they call it?
Now they are.
They call it the crosstown
Now
trail.
they're, and on Facebook, our councillor, John McDermott, just a few days ago, posted a map from February 2017 that was labeled proposed crosstown trail connection.
Okay, so if they build
Showing
this,
this route.
if they're showing this, that means that they forget about that. What's going on? What's going to happen there beside the train station?
Good question.
Don't know.
Because Irving was given concessions for the liquor store project based on the fact that they would give the land to the south of the train station for the trail.
By the way, that's a liquor store. Nice. They did a good job here.
And you notice the Hart Shoe Factory.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
this is a major destination node for the trail
A
system.
lot of history here.
A lot of history. People love that.
And so they spent a lot of money on this. Somebody made some money.
I mean, it's expensive to develop the trail system in our city, and this is why our community has been extremely patient. I mean, it's been 20 years. We've been vigilant and patiently waiting for the completion of the Crosstown Trail.
Are you Scottish?
No.
For 20 years. My God, you're as stubborn as me.
And with the plan so clear and comprehensive, and then when Irving put in, when the city installed the Crosstown Trail beside the train station, you know, we thought it's a done deal, right?
But then the city turns around and gives you a F-U finger right there.
Oh, so
what's going on here?
So they're going to start telling the residents about the plans after they've already been finalized.
You mean?
This will be a crosswalk, and then they're going to install the Crosstown Trail, run it down Aberdeen Street, and then dogleg it back onto the portion, that little park that we went through.
So for them, this is the crown.
And it's nowhere near the train station. So they're going to move this crosswalk over here.
And what they're going to do?
And we have no idea how many trees, or if any trees will go down, what's going to happen to the street. But the trail is going to run down here. And of course you can see the apartment building, the commercial driveways.
David Outward used to live there.
You know, one of the reasons why our city spent so much time and effort acquiring all the abandoned rail corridors through the city is because they're much safer. You keep the bicycle traffic separate from the driveways, from the sidewalks. And so we have the route in our neighborhood, and we want them to follow the plan. And what I'm afraid of, it's not just the trail, it's not just the safety of pedestrians and cyclists and people using our sidewalks, but it's the entire plan itself. If they start unraveling it, then developers may come back to us and say, you know, we thought we'd have 100 units or more in the railway lands between York and Regent.
Speaking of history,
we didn't get those residential components. We want to come back to the West Platte.
Didn't they say they want to put the trail behind here?
Yeah, one of the options is then to go through this area, and then we can do that, and then back onto Rabbit Town.
Rabbit, okay.
Or the other option is to go to the intersection here, but then of course you have to cross and use one of the existing sidewalks. So especially children are using the sidewalks, and then all of a sudden it turns into a shared trail system.
This is Westmoreland Street.
This is Westmoreland.
Busy, very busy. This is Sunday. Again, I'm repeating myself. So, you go from the trails here. So, what they want, are they going to continue here?
Yeah, so one of the options is to do a 90-degree turn and use the existing sidewalk and put the Crosstown Trail here. And of course, at other ends of it, of course, is still a dedicated sidewalk. So all of a sudden, you've got bicycle traffic coming through, and then they would cross here, mid-block, and use the existing corridor.
And then we go back over there.
But it just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense why they would not follow the plan, why no reasonable person would have ever imagined them making changes when the city has already gone to such considerable expense to build the trail system beside the train station, to acquire this land for $156,000, to install the trail here, and then to purchase segments of the rail corridor between Westmoreland and York. But then all of a sudden we learn that the Crosstown Trail route, they want to put it down on Aberdeen and do all this funny stuff.
So is it called a Zig Zag trail, or what?
That's a good name.
Yeah,
I mean,
zigzag.
it's not the crosstown trail like going through the other downtown neighborhoods. It would be more of a zigzag trail.
What?
I think another analogy is, you know, what the heck happened here? When people use this as envisioned by the city, if it's completed as such, they're going to wonder, you know, why is this so different from the other parts of the city where they had the rail corridor?
Yeah,
You know,
really.
what's going on? And I suspect there have been...
Here, listen. Hold it. What do you think of the trails? Here, you're
I think it's pretty. I like
think it's
it and
pretty?
I like the shape.
I'm working on the assumption.
No, is it? No,
you
what do you
guys
think?
know her.
Pardon?
Do you think this is here, this trail is good? It should be used and...
Yes, I think it should be more
sorry.
used than the
I'm
trees
working
and
on the
everything.
assumption you know her.
No, I don't. No, I don't.
Yes,
I just grab anybody. I grab
Well, no,
any-
you start. You.
I grab everybody right from the
me.
street.
No,
Bottom-
it's not
You're
your
just
fault.
startled me too.
Oh, really? Don't know me? Okay. Oh, you're a fan of the
I mean, you
blood.
startled me.
I started you. Listen, the city wants to do a zigzag trail. They want to zigzag here and there. What do you think? Is it
I
a good
think the
idea?
city needs to stop building up the city and start building the city vertically if they're going to do anything else. But we got to go. Take
One
care.
more, one more thing, Sarah. You were in Mupton
Yeah,
and you came back here.
yeah.
So what do you think of Mupton, the trails?
I like that there's a network of trails that goes through the city, but it doesn't feel like you're in the city. It feels like you're in the woods. I like that. Take care.
See you later. Anyway. No, I mean,
So something has happened between the implementation of the comprehensive plan in 2000 and now. And why wouldn't they be using all the safe, well-established standards for trail development through the rail corridors like they have in the rest of the city?
Yeah.
And I think they've made backroom deals
so
with
is
developers.
the developers have more power than council?
Well, I don't know how you can explain why the city is not following their plan.
Yeah, really.
I mean, a lot could be lost. Not just the safety of our children using the trail route. I mean, this is going to connect up with Odell and Wilmot and Queen Square Park. This is a major corridor. It connects up the Valley Trail with the Lincoln Trail. This is a big deal. And once you build it, people will come and use this on a daily basis.
So if you turn around, you have the north side all straight. You have Woodstock Road going through private properties right down about 5 miles. And there was no problem. I mean, they fought. They didn't like having a trail in the backyard.
And it's not going along sidewalks or crossing,
No.
that many driveways. So there's a reason why you use the trail corridor if it's available to you.
Yeah. See, so this thing here was built with the promise to have the trails.
Through the NB Power right of way.
And they did it.
They didn't.
How about exhibition ground? They want to, how can they come, can they help with the trail system in that corner?
Well, I think the mayor should first tend to the residential development components in the railway lands between York and Regent.
Mm-hmm.
And then he can start talking to the exhibition grounds. But right now, he's got all of his timing reversed. Now is the time to build the high-density residential apartments and townhouses in the railway lands, complete it between Regent and York, and then you can turn your attention to the exhibition grounds.
So they should, when they come out from Rabbit Park, they're going to come here.
They're going to come here.
Because they should have came where they were supposed to go behind the house.
Right, because then it lines up perfectly with a good crossing, a good safe crossing.
Yeah.
An expected crossing at Smythe Street. And it should be a full traffic light crossing for both the Superstore exit and the Valley Trail, Crosstown Trail. Combine the two of them.
Yeah. No. It's,
But all of these new plans that we're just hearing about just make, when you look at the rest of the city, how it's been developed, how the trail system's been developed. Makes no sense. You know, something's happened that we don't know about.
Now, let's see if it's going to go past 30 minutes here. The bottom line is, where's your website? Ward 10, Facebook, right?
Ward 10 Fredericton is Facebook.
Okay, no, keep on going.
See
Good.
where this man is walking across?
Yeah. Look
The
at that.
city is proposing this is where just a pedestrian crosswalk with lights will be put. And if they put that there, you're going to have traffic coming out of the exhibition
And
ground.
Tim Horton is in there.
And you're going to have traffic coming out of the Superstore exit just down there. And all of a sudden, they're going to have to stop suddenly again when someone presses the yellow pedestrian crossing light. It makes no sense.
So again, it's for developers, I'll say the word right one of these days, to make money. And never mind future generations to enjoy the trails.
We just want well-established engineering and traffic safety and bicycle safety standards to be applied. And Superstore, you know, promised the neighborhood. You know, this exit would not be spill into Victoria Street.
Oh, really? Really?
Richmond Road is a location in Ottawa of the Ottawa Loblaws downtown. So you look at it on Google Maps, Richmond Road. And Loblaws was made by the city engineering people to make sure that none of their exits lined up with residential streets. So why is it different here? And especially now if you have the Valley Trail, combine the two, make a T intersection, mid-block, and it's nice and safe for everyone.
And so that should have been
over here.
That should have been over here.
Right.
That should have been, and was that Victoria Street always open?
Yes.
Always open on Smite, but that was just a feel. 20 years ago, that was just a feel?
Right.
Or there was nothing there?
Nothing there.
So next thing you know, they come, so then bingo, there's your intersection. And then you come here from the trails, and then you go there, and there's nothing.
Nothing. And again, we've been very patient because it was locked into the new plan back in 2000. So, and then they established the train station route, they established the Rabbitown Park route, the block. So, you know, any reasonable person would have said, okay, it's going to happen. Let's just be patient.
How many, okay, about a final question. How many people think are still with us
With what?
with this video? 30 minutes.
I don't know.
Huh? Well, I bet lucky if just me and you.
Well, I think a lot of families are very interested in this because it's the safety of their children.